Hi everybody, we're going on to chapter 31. The next hour is a blur of questions and answers. Most of them asked by Fiona, most of them answered in turn by Nuella and Aaron, or me. Fiona is quiet fairly, not convinced. Are we all just forgetting what this prick put us through? No, Nuella, and I say at once. Aaron looks at his hands again. Aaron has agreed that he needs to be held accountable for his actions, Nuella says, and that accountability begins with his helping to bring this terrible organisation to its knees, starting with that Miss Banbury woman. Wait, Fiona pauses. What about Miss Banbury? I realise that she's been so distracted by Aaron's presence that she isn't even prepared for the real bombshell. Miss Banbury is Children's of Bridget, I tell her. She's been taking I feel a chill down my spine, thinking about it. I've managed to avoid dwelling on the experience too much all afternoon, but the memory of those tea bags, those little grey mice on the cotton pads, makes me feel nauseous. Her hands in her mouth, gently hooking her fingers on the backs of my teeth. My shoulders buckled together, frozen with horror of it. Everyone looks at me, their eyes worried. I start again. She's been draining my magic with those tea bags, I say eventually, as I can. It wasn't Aaron. Fiona's face has completely paled. Her eyes hollow. Fie, I nudged. She tries to say something, I think, but her mouth just opens mutely. She stops, tries again. My journal. Oh my God. She's to me. Fiona starts to paw at her chest, her throat. For a second I think she's been bewitched by some silencing spell. Then I realise that it's shock that's keeping her from speaking, not magic. Your journal, I say. Does she still have it? Fiona merely nods. And for the first time since I've known her, she looks small. She's 2 inches shorter than me and about 5 below Lily. But I've never noticed it before. She's always had the loudest voice out of the 4 of us, and that usually makes her the biggest person in the room. Aaron gets out of his chair and tries to guide her into it. Don't touch me, she snaps. Don't ever touch me. Fiona stands still, clenching and unclenching her fists, her knuckles going white. Maeve, she finally says. Lily, can you come to the bathroom with me? Oh yes. Lily looks dazed by the request, but she follows. We never were go to the bathroom together, girls, even in our old life. The upstairs loo is bigger, Nuella offers, and has more privacy. I mouth a thank you to Nuella and take Fiona by the hand, leading her up the stairs. It's an old-fashioned sort of bathroom, all pale pink, the colour of cough syrup. It smells like powder and flowers. The second I close the door, Fiona sinks down onto the fluffy white bath mat. She hugs her knees, her face full of terror. There isn't enough room for all of us to sit on the floor, so I sit next to her and Lily gets in the empty bath. What is it, Fi? I say softly, because we know what we are doing now. We know what we are dealing with. We can fix it, whatever it is. Fiona doesn't respond. Instead, she unfurls her limbs and reaches underneath her skirt. It's a corduroy miniskirt in dark red, and she has thick black tights on underneath it. She peels down her tights, and for a second I think she's about to strip off and have a bath. Lily clearly thinks so too, and we look to each other in surprise. But that's not what Phi is doing. She rolls the fabric down to just above her knee and stops. Burying her face in her hands, I look down and I understand. Cuts, shallow red cuts, streaked across both thighs. Cuts that haven't healed. Cuts, she thought, would heal. Oh, Phi, I say, putting my arm around her. She leans her head on my shoulder. I don't know what else to say, so I just repeat her name. Fiona, Fiona. Tears start to scatter onto the bath mat. It stopped working, she says, her voice choked by sobs. When? I said gently. She bites down on her lip before she answers, her eyes red-rimmed and brimming. A few days ago. Why did you do it if your gift wasn't working? Lily asks, and I wonder how much she knows about Fiona's habit already. I don't know, Fiona cries. It's just a thing I do. It's in my routine. I forgot, and then I couldn't say anything because you guys would know that I'm still doing it. She breaks off again, hiding her face. You don't have to worry about us, I say, holding her. We just love you and want you to get better. She said she wanted me to go and get better, Fiona says furiously. She said talking wouldn't help. It does help, I say, stroking her hair. Talking does help. Not to her, though. The tears are coming fresh again, hot and anxious and deadly. She starts to claw at her hair, her throat. You can't trust them, she spits. You can't trust any of them. You weren't to know, I say, trying to soothe her. You didn't know she was working for them. I mean, you can't trust anyone, she snaps. No one, despite her obvious trauma. I feel mildly hurt at this. I exchange a glance with Lily. You can trust us. You can always trust us. She ignores me. People always do this to me, she goes on. People think they can just take stuff from me, Maeve, whatever they want. Even you, when you cheated of me. What do you think it is? Is it like an Asian girl thing? Fiona lets out a hollow, empty laugh. Or do you think it's just because I am so pathetically eager to please? I feel a stab of guilt over the cheating, but still find it unusual that Fiona is bringing it up now. They say that it takes 3 incidents of something for it to be a trend, and I started to wonder if there is a third unspoken thing that Lily and I don't know about. My gift, she spits. My gift is healing. What a joke. It's like a universe is screaming at me. Your job is to make sure other people are okay. She holds her legs again, her eye sockets resting on her kneecaps. I don't know what to say, what to do. Should I apologize for cheating again, or would that just take the focus away and put it back on me? Lily doesn't seem to have any ideas. She just clutches the rim of the bath, looking upset. Fiona has stopped crying now. She's just holding herself tightly. Don't you mind it, Maeve? Don't you mind it, Maeve? She says finally, the words catching in the machinery of her throat. She did it too. You too. I feel like I pause and try to answer truthfully and not how I think a good friend should react. I think of Heather's hands on my teeth. Her whispers ring about my potential. I feel like I have no words for what she did to me. Lily rests her cheek on the cool edge of the bathtub. There are no proper words for the stuff we are able to do, and all the existing ones sound stupid and made up. Fiona and I let out a small grateful laugh from the bath mat. True, I replied. We do magic, and that sounds made up and weird. And we joke about it, and we use weird words like gifts. But it is not made up, it's real. What happened to me when I was in the river? That was real. I know you guys don't understand it, but it was real. And what she did, that's what wasn't made up. That was real. She did something to you. Fiona rests her head on my shoulder, and I slip my hand into hers. I just feel like I'm never going to be the same again. I say, my voice choked. I never wanted to be this way, but now I can't imagine a different way of being. And now she's ruined it. She's ruined me. Oh, Maeve, I'm sorry. There's a small window in the bathroom, a tiny square showing us that it is dark outside now, black with a wink of the orange street lamps buzzing at the corner of the darkness. There's some movement from Fiona, some internal sense of gathering herself. I used to feel the same way, like I was ruined. She says in the smallest voice imaginable. The guy I was with when we first met. I haven't heard her bring the older boyfriend up since the week we started doing tarot together. Way back in February, my eyes widened as I stopped and looked at her. The guy who wanted to have sex, I said. Did you? No, she answers sharply. We didn't. So this is it, I think. This is the third thing that makes a trend of people using Fiona, of people thinking it's okay. But he made me do stuff, she says in a voice so thin it's almost a squeak. Stuff to him. What happened? Lily asks. Her voice so gentle in a way I haven't heard in years. It was ages ago, she replied. Honestly, I don't even know why it's come up now. I haven't thought about it in so long. I don't need telepathy to know that this is a lie. Your cards when I met you were so sad, I say. I should have known that something else was going on. I just didn't know you that well then. I felt horrible, she says, a slow tear gliding down her cheek. I had put all this energy in trying to be friends with this group, and I still am friends with them, I guess. I mean, we did Othello together, but he sort of ruined the whole thing for me, and by then I hadn't even bothered to make any real friends at school. So I just felt like a nothing. Her voice breaks on nothing. She starts brushing back new tears with the heel of her hand. Do you want to tell me what happened? Not really, she sniffs. It was awkward and embarrassing, and the worst thing, Maeve, was what he said afterwards. He said that the words are stuck. A boulder that she is trying to push out with her tongue. For a moment I think she's choking. Fie, he said. It was a good thing I was a fast learner, she says. the words cracking out of her like thunder, and that I would be much better next time. Fiona dissolves. Excuse me. Fiona dissolves into tears, fully pledging herself to the act of crying. I tightened my arms around her, trying to give her the solace that Heather Banbury pretended to give. Fiona weeps, hiccuping on her own sorrow. And I think about how Heather is a demon succubus, and Fiona's ex-boyfriend was just a 20-year-old guy, but really there isn't much difference between them, between what they were able to do and how they were able to make us feel. People think I'm so perfect, she sniffs, wiping her nose with her sleeve, but they don't know what a trap that is. Like there is actually no difference between being perfect and being desperate to please. Perfect student, perfect daughter, perfect little actress, and he was just there, smiling at me, as if my job was now also to be perfect at blowjobs. I wanted to die. Lily's arms spread around us, her face between our faces. Our arms are wrapped together now, and a many-legged amoeba, hugging, I think it's called another word, of a teen girl crying in the bathroom. It feels like a great emptying, a boil that needed to be lanced. I don't know why I'm crying about that, Fiona says eventually. This was ages ago, like January. Because it's sad, Lily replies. Because it's really sad. And for a minute, it's like all three of us are seeing the same thing. Like we are looking at the rest of our lives and wondering how on earth we are going to survive it. I had sex, I said. I had sex last night. Both of them looked at me, astonished. With Rue? Fiona asked. How was it? While I was in the next room, says Lily. Yeah, sorry. I let out a long, loud sigh. It was fine, you know, but it wasn't fair. I was only doing it because I thought it would make him remember. They nod, and I put my head in my hands. It didn't work. I'm never going to have sex. I hear Lily's voice say, never, ever. Don't say that, Lily, I responded. It's actually nice. But both girls looked at me astonished. I didn't say anything. Maeve, Lily stares at me. In a haze of green light and curls, my gift has come back. Whoa, nice one. Take care. See you in the next chapter.